ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। श्लोका नंबर 11, 9th chapter, 11th श्लोका। अथ नवमोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अवजानन्ति मां मूढाः मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितम् परं भावमजानन्तः मम भूतमहेश्वरम् मोघाशामोघकर्माणः मोघज्ञानाविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते। So we are seeing the 9th chapter, which began with the introduction to the topic of Ishvara Jnanam, knowledge of what Ishvara is. As Pujya Swamiji used to say, for us, Ishvara is not merely a matter of belief. It is something to be understood. And therefore, Ishvara Jnanam was introduced in the first 3 shlokas. Then the 4th shloka to the 10th shloka, Ishvara Jnanam was given, that Ishvara is the Mithya Jagad Adhishthanam. As Lalita Sahasranama says, Mithya Jagad Adhisthana, that is what Ishvara is. And Ishvara is pervading everything, imperceptible through the organs. Ishvara, even though he creates everything, but remains unaffected because he is akarta abhokta, because he is sakshi. And all these things are told so that we can apply in our life. Ishvara is sakshi, and therefore he remains free from the bondage of doing this creation. Similarly, if you want to be free, you also learn to to own up your Sakshi status. It is not that you have to become Sakshi. You are already Sakshi. You pay attention on your Sakshi status. Then Bhagavan talked about samsara karanam. Why this samsara is there? Bondage. Bondage means what? Sense of helplessness. Sense of dependence upon the world to be happy, to be secure, to be peaceful. That is samsara. Samsara is not wife children. We have seen samsara is this, my mental dependence out of my sense of limitation. That is samsara. Why is it so? So Bhagavan says it is because of not knowing me, Ishvara, and ignoring me, Ishvara. Ishvara ajnanam, Ishvara avajna. Avajna means ignoring. Bhagavan says if you do not know me, it is understandable because ignorance is beginningless. You have not picked up ignorance. One good thing you can feel relieved is that you have not done the mistake of picking up ignorance. Ignorance has been there. It is your capital. You started with ignorance. You have been with ignorance. But you had the opportunity to remove this ignorance by getting the knowledge. That opportunity you did not use it. For that you have to own up the responsibility. Otherwise, Bhagavan said ignorance is okay, but you are doing avajna. Ignorance and ignoring. Ignoring means what? Something is available, but you don't pay attention. That is called ignoring. People have this, no? They want to show some insult. They want to insult somebody. What they will do? When that person comes, they will look here and there. Or they go inside. That is called what? Avajna, ignoring. You know the person and that person smiles at you, don't look at the person. Pretend as though you have not seen. These people have got ways, they are very smart in, conveying this message. I don't care for you. So that they do. Anyway, so that is what people are doing with reference to Bhagavan. And unless person knows Ishvara completely, one will remain samsari. What is the connection between the knowledge of Ishvara and my being limited? When I understand Ishvara completely, my understanding will be I and Ishvara are one. Then alone Ishvara's understanding is complete. And when I understand Ishvara to be myself, non-separate from Ishvara, then my sense of limitation, sense of alienation, sense of isolation, all of them will go away. Everybody has this feeling that I am not understood, I am isolated, people don't care for me, I care for people, people don't care for me. All this is samsara. People have got so many things to complain about. Puja Swamiji used to say, munu munu. So always they know. If you say everything okay, in fact to such people we are afraid to ask also. Because if we ask, they will start complaints. And therefore we have to say, hello, so that much only you have to say. Is everything okay? Then they will have a big list. So that is samsara. And that samsara goes by knowing oneself to be non-separate from Ishvara. Therefore Ishvara Jnanam is necessary. If it is not there and person ignores, then person remains in samsara. If you do not know Ishvara as non-separate from him, Ishvara is not the loser, you are the loser. So samsara karanam, the cause for samsara is ignorance and ignorance based ignoring Ishvara. Sometimes we ignore because we do not know the glory of the person. Like it happens. Sometimes, they have come to see the head of the institute. And they see me. And I pass by. They don't even look at me. They are looking for me. But I look like, attendants are there and very simple. People think it must be very huge Swami with so many attendants, some dhaja, this umbrella, something. And that is not there. Therefore, people not knowing, they ignore. And afterwards, sometimes they ask me, Where is that Swamiji? Like that. Something like that. So sometimes our ignorance becomes the basis for ignoring. That's what Bhagavan is saying. That since you are ignorance, you are ignoring me. You don't care to know me. And because of that, you are suffering. So that is the cause for samsara. What is the solution? Solution is bhakti. Bhagavan presents bhakti as the solution. So you may wonder that Swamiji, we are supposed to Advaiti and we should talk about Dhanam only. Dhanam is the solution, we should talk. Why we are talking about bhakti as the solution? Bhakti is like those who are ISKCON people or some other people, temple people, they will talk about bhakti. You are talking about bhakti, yes. Not only me, Bhagavan is talking. Bhagavan says, those who mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakriti mashritaha. Bhajantyananya manasaha. So the Mahatmas who are worshipping me with undistracted mind, they become free from samsara. Therefore, what is the solution? Bhakti. And what is bhakti? We have seen two meanings. One is reverential love with the attitude of surrender. That is bhakti. So bhakti doesn't mean sentimentalism. Bhakti means love for Ishvara with reverence. I respect Ishvara, I love Ishvara and have attitude of surrender to Ishvara. That is called bhakti. That is what definition of bhakti from the standpoint of attitude. What is bhakti as a sadhana? The series of sadhana for the attainment of Ishvara is bhakti. So karma yoga is bhakti, upasana yoga is bhakti, and jnana yoga is bhakti. So any sadhana which leads you to Ishvara prapti is called bhakti. And this all three, karma yoga, upasana and jnana yoga, are called bhakti. And Bhagavan said, by this bhakti, you will finally understand me as yourself, and by that you will become free from samsara. And Bhagavan doesn't say that everybody should start with the same type of bhakti. It depends upon your status. If you do not have sufficient purity of the mind, then you can start with karma yoga. Little bit purity is there, restlessness is there, upasana. And purity and this composure of the mind, both are there. Then jnana yoga. You start doing Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam. That is what Bhagavan presented. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dradhavrataha namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So, kirtayantaha can be taken as a kirtanam of Ishvara, or kirtayantaha means doing Shravana. And namasyantaha means surrendering oneself to Bhagavan. And yatantaha, making the efforts for sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. And such people, nitya yuktaha bhaktya, ever endowed with bhaktya, upasate. They worship me, they think of me. Now in the next shloka, Bhagavan is telling, in what all manner they can think of me. And Bhagavan is going to present three ways you can relate to Bhagavan. Based on your understanding of Ishvara, three ways are there to relate to Ishvara. Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajanto mam upasate ekatvena pruthatvena bahudha vishvato mukham. So Bhagavan says, Anye, some people, yajantaha, worshipping me. How? Jnana yajnena. Through the ritual in the form of various attitude and understanding. And those various attitude and understanding will be talked about in the next half. So through various understanding and attitude, they worship me, and through that worship me, mam upasate. They think of me. Worshipping me through the ritual of understanding and attitude, they think of me. They relate to me mentally. So here Bhagavan says, Jnanam itself is yajna. Jnanam is understanding. And understanding of Ishvara can be of three types, depending upon the stage of the person. To begin with, we look upon Ishvara as Eka Rupaha, Vishesha Rupaha Ishvara. Means, I look upon Ishvara having a particular form, and I look upon Ishvara as someone to be different from me. I am Bhakta and Ishvara is Bhagavan. I am Upasaka, meditator, and is Upasya, to be meditated on. This is going to be said as Pruthakttvena. This is how we start our bhakti to Bhagavan. We look upon Bhagavan as the one having particular form, Dakshinamurti form, Shiva form, Krishna form, Vishnu form. So we relate to Ishvara in that manner. Ishvara is the one who is Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhari or Trishuladhari, Gangadhari. So different ways, or Devi. So having all the Shankha Chakra, all the weapons, so many hands, Ashtabhuja, Sahasrabhuja. So we worship Ishvara as someone having particular form. And I am Bhakta and he or she is Bhagavan or Bhagavati. That is first stage of looking upon Ishvara. Second is, I look upon the entire world as the body of Ishvara. Means what? Ishvara is not limited to one particular form. All forms are his form. As it is said in the Vishnu Sahasranama, Bhuhpado Vyasya Nabhir Vyadasura Nilash Chandra Suryo Cha Netre. The entire Prithvi is his feet and entire Vayu is his prana. Sun and moon are his eyes. So entire cosmos is his body. Means what? All people, all animals, mountains, rivers, trees, all of them are nothing but Ishvara. So Ishvara is manifesting as the entire universe. Why? How can you say so? Because Ishvara is the cause of the universe. Like clay is the cause of pots, and therefore clay is manifesting as all pots. Similarly, Ishvara being the material cause of everything is manifesting as everything. That particular understanding is called Vishwa Rupa Drishti. The vision of looking upon Ishvara as cosmic being, not limited to one particular form, but he is present in all forms. Omniforms it is called. That is second. That is higher than the first one. Because in the first, you are restricting Ishvara to one particular form. And you are making the division that is Ishvara and this is the world. So we have world and Ishvara division. Now world and Ishvara have become one. World is nothing but the manifestation of Ishvara. So that is the second drishti, which is a very, very evolved drishti, exalted drishti. Drishti means vision, attitude. And the third one is, I look upon Ishvara as existence consciousness. I understand Ishvara to be existence consciousness. And I am existence consciousness. And therefore, I and Ishvara are one. This is called Ekatva Drishtihi, the vision of oneness. Like the wave can look upon the ocean in three manners. Wave can say ocean is a very huge entity and I am a small entity somewhere. Pruthakttvena, as someone separate, or he can have some temple of Samudra Devata somewhere. And he looks upon himself to be worshipper of that Samudra Devata. Afterwards he says, no, all the waves, all the breakers, all the whirlpools, all the wavelets, all of them are nothing but ocean. I also am part of this ocean. This is second. All the waves, etc., are ocean only. And finally he discovers what? We are talking about the wave. The wave says, ocean is nothing but water, I also am nothing but water. So as water, I and the ocean are one. This is called Ekatva Drishti. And when this Ekatva Drishti comes, then person is completely free from samsara. The sense of smallness, sense of helplessness goes away. Now what happens that we are worried about so many things. Worried about our physical health, worried about our family members' health, worried about the marriage of the son, daughter, so many things. This is a big issue. I don't know, in the olden days also that issue was there, but we didn't hear so much. Nowadays people have more issues. That son not getting married, daughter not getting married is a big issue. Then we have got the issue regarding the state, government is not formed, so issue, one more issue. Then we have got issue at the national level, so much terrorism possibilities are there. And international level, Trump don't know what he will do. Trump card he has, no, every time and then he shows Trump card. So many worries, And I tell you, with regard to most of the worries, we feel helpless. In fact, worries continue because you feel helpless. If you feel that you can do something about, then you will not be worried. You will be busy doing what is to be done. Generally what happens that people only keep on doing this job, worrying. And they say, Swamiji, but you are telling that you should do something. Swamiji, what to do? My son doesn't listen to me. My daughter doesn't listen to me. What can I do? You always have one option. What is that? Prayer. You pray. Pray for him, pray for yourself. So you always have one option. That option is available. Resort to that option rather than spending your energy on worries. I generally tell people that, see, even you start your thinking with worries, means you find yourself worrying. It's okay. That is what makes you what you are. But you can conclude your thinking with prayer. Start with worries, end with prayer. Then your BP, etc. will be coming down, will not be so high. So slowly your worries will be reduced. Start with worries because you are helpless, but end with prayer. You keep a suggestion in your mind. Whenever I worry, I will end my worries. Like at the end we take sweet, no? Similarly at the end of my worry, this meal, I will take the dessert of sweet. Sweet is what? Prayer. Design, put the suggestion. So that is what people miss it. But when you get this understanding, I am one with limitless Ishvara, there is nothing to be worried. Nothing to be worried. You do something. For your dental problem, whatever needs to be done, you do. For your nasal problem, you do. For your BP, whatever needs to be, do. We are not saying you stop doing things, but you can be free from worries by developing objectivity and finally by understanding your true nature. And that is said here, Anye jnana yagnena yajantaha mam upasate. Some think of me worshipping through the ritual of jnanam, knowledge and understanding, knowledge and attitude. What are those three, attitude and knowledge? Ekatvena. Ekatvena means they think of me with the idea of oneness, with the understanding of oneness. Means they meditate upon me with the understanding that I am Ishvaraha. In Sanskrit we have got this word, you must have heard, Soham. So Ekatvena means Soham Bhavena. Soham Bhavena Pujayet. Soham Bhavena Upasita. Soham or Shivoham. That is one. Second is Pruthatvena. As someone distinct from oneself. I am Bhakta, Dakshinamurti is Bhagavan, Shiva is Bhagavan, Krishna is Bhagavan, Upasya, to be meditated upon. I am Bhakta. So the idea of distinction. And Pruthatvena conveys two ideas. One is, I consider myself to be different from Ishvara, and I invoke Ishvara in a particular form. Surya, Chandra, Agni, Vayu, Aditya, or in this present time, Vishnu, etc. The third one is Vishvato Mukham. They meditate on me as the one who is having faces all over. Means they meditate upon me as omniform, all forms. And they meditate upon me Bahudha, in various ways. They invoke my presence in the mountain, they invoke my presence in the tree, they invoke my presence in the ocean, they invoke my presence on the ground. That is our Indian culture. Our Vedic Samskriti, our Vedic culture is looking upon everything as Ishvara. Therefore, we are worshipping mountain. You know, in North India, there is a Giridhara Puja. I think in South also it must be there, mountain. Girivallam is there, puja is there, mountain worship. So the people who are not exposed to this culture, they said, you are so foolish you are, that you are worshipping the mountain. For us, mountain also is Ishvara. In fact, we worship the car. The foreigners will be surprised that this fellow, after the car, he should go to some party, some hotel, he goes to the temple, and they do arti. So those who are not exposed to this culture, they will be shocked. They say these people are really superstitious. And for us it is a very common thing. In fact, in our kitchen, we had brought some big mixie, and for so many days, it was not used. So I said, what has happened? He said, puja is not done. They were waiting for someone to come and do puja. For us it is so, sacred. For us, everything is sacred. This is the beauty of this culture. Don't look down upon it. That, what is they are doing? Something great. So we are every day doing Rangoli. It is a welcoming Lakshmi. Welcome the worshipping Bhumi Devata. So our attitude is, everything is Ishvara. We do fight with each other, that is okay. But our attempt is to see everything is Ishvara. And that is called Vishvato Mukham. In Bhagavad Gita, this Vishvato Mukham, seeing Ishvara as all, that is so much highlighted. Bhagavan Shri Krishna doesn't talk much about worshipping Ishvara in a particular Devata. He does talk about, here Pruthatvena he talked about, but his more focus is on seeing Ishvara in all. Not only living beings, non-living beings also. That is why our culture is a reverential culture, where everything is respected. Food is respected. Even our currency is respected. Currency we don't step on. Even 1 rupee note, nowadays 1 rupee is not, 5 rupees note is there, or 10 rupees. If you have stepped on, you beg pardon. Why? Because we look upon that as a Lakshmi. We don't step on the book. I hope we are maintaining this. The people from abroad, they put their books on the chappals. It's a practical thing. I saw in Rishikesh when somebody from some university had come to Rishikesh ashram where I was staying. So when they go to the dining hall, they leave out their shoes outside. On the shoes, they will put their books. In a way, it is a practical thing, because you will not forget. So shoes you wear, books also you will remember, practical. But for us, it is not irreverential. So we look upon the book as this Saraswati. See, now that much respect we don't have to our iPad. So iPad also books are there. We keep the books nowadays. But it doesn't invoke so much respect. Somehow I have observed that. Because our mind is like it is programmed like that. Book means Saraswati. Because we do Saraswati Puja. It is a very, very good culture and we should maintain it. Even your children, grandchildren, they are doing something, we are stepping on the book, please tell them, respect. At least this much we can maintain. Have reverence to the books, have reverence to the currency. Have reverence to the trees, etc. That is why we should not pluck the leaf just for fun. Some people were walking, they will pick just for fun. It is a disrespect. Imagine somebody is walking and pulling your hair. How will because you have not combed your hair or tied it, therefore they pull the hair. Very little you have, and that also they pull. It's a disrespect. So our culture is seeing Bhagavan everywhere. Pujya Swamiji used to say, Ishwarizing the world. It's a very beautiful word. Ishwarizing means you see everything as Ishvara. If you have that, then you will have less conflicts, less jealousy. Why? Because when you see that everyone is this manifestation of Ishvara, if somebody is singing well, then what do you see? Wow, Bhagavan is manifesting through this person in the form of this good music. So you are appreciating Ishvara, so you will not have jealousy. And when you have something good in you and somebody praises it, what is your attitude? Only Ishvara is manifesting through me. I am just instrument. Bhagavan is manifesting through me. I am Bhagavan's manifestation. So you will not have pride, nor you will have inferiority complex. This point I keep highlighting when I meet children. I tell them, see that you are blessed. I make them say, I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed because I am manifestation of Ishvara. There is no basis for me to look down upon myself. Just because something I don't have, some physical beauty is not there or some wealth is not there, social status is not there, doesn't matter. Whatever I am manifestation of Ishvara. If you have this, you will not have inferiority complex, you will not have superiority complex, you will have no jealousy. You appreciate all are Ishvara. So our focus should be on appreciating all to be Ishvara. Why we are not able to see everything to be Ishvara? This everything is Ishvara, you must have heard minimum 100 times. From childhood we keep on hearing. Even though we don't study Vedanta, but directly or indirectly we are hearing that. But still we are not able to see. Why? Because of these likes and dislikes. We like someone and therefore we get attached. And we forget that it is Ishvara's manifestation. We have got bhoga buddhi for that. And we dislike someone, therefore we forget that whom I dislike also is manifestation of same Ishvara. Same Ishvara. It is not that one whom I like is Ishvara and one whom I don't like is not Ishvara. Both are Ishvara. So those who are worshipping Ishvara with this idea, they are called here Vishwato Mukham Upasate. And they can worship Bahudha in various ways. That's a very great thing, that you do not have a compulsion to go to the temple to to visualize or to worship Ishvara. Wherever you are, you see the mountain, you can invoke Ishvara. You see the river, you can invoke Ishvara. In fact, you can invoke Ishvara in anything. In the book, you can invoke Ishvara. And thus, Vishwarupa Drishti, Bhagavan is highlighting. And now from the next shloka, Bhagavan gives the description that in what all manners you can see me, Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa Ishvara, how to appreciate. So Bhagavan gives a big list where all you can see me. In fact, that list is not complete. Afterwards, you can add so many things. And finally, you see everything as Ishvara. But to begin with, we see some important things as Ishvara. That is given in the next shloka. Aham kraturaham yajnaha swadaham aushadam mantrohamahame ahamagniraham hutam. So Bhagavan says, I am Kratuhu, the ritual which is prescribed by the Shastra. So Shastra talks about Agnihotra Karma, Shastra talks about Jyotishtoma Yaga, so Atirudra Yaga. So those rituals which are prescribed by the Vedas, they are called here Kratuhu. And Yajnaha means the ritual which is prescribed by Smriti Granthas, the Shruti based secondary literature. Like Chandi Homa, etc., they are called Yajnaha. And Bhagavan says, I am Swadha. Swadha means the food which is to be offered to the Pitrus. That is called Swadha. I am Aushadham. Aushadham has got two meanings. One popular meaning, some of you must be knowing, and that is medicine. A very nice thing to see. I am medicine. Because sometimes our face changes when we have to take medicine. Especially Ayurveda, that is Kashayam. What is Ashtang? What is, some is there for coughing. That is Kashayam, that Ashtanga something is there. So, oh my God, it is so bitter, so bitter. Even the thought to it makes us aware of it. Oh, one person used to give me, So, Bhagavan says, remember this. This medicine also is what? Me only. Remember this. So, your resistance will be less. So, Bhagavan said, I am in the form of medicine. I am in the form of sweet medicine also, like cough syrup, and I am in the form of that kashayam also. And Aushadam has another meaning, and that is food. Food in general is called Aushadam. So, rice, roti, sambar, all of them, they are what? Aushadam. Why? Because Aushadam has got the meaning that which removes your burning sensation is called Aushadam. And the food is supposed to remove our burning out of this hunger. Therefore, food also is Aushadam. Daha Shamaka is Aushadam. So, all food items are also called Aushadam, and Bhagavan says, I am there in the form of food. And this is a very interesting thing, that food is called medicine. So, there is a common word for food and medicine called Aushadam. By that, what is suggested? That food should be taken like Aushadam. Food should be taken like Aushadam means what? Just as medicine is taken only when required, medicine is taken to the extent required. So, when required and how much required, that much alone we take. But still it happens, cough syrup we finish very fast. Doctor has told 3 days, so ek din mein khatam. Whereas other medicine is remaining for longer time. But medicine is to be taken as prescribed and when required. Similarly, food should be taken only when it is required. Nowadays, many people say, Swami, we don't know what is hunger. Why? Because before we get hungry, food supply has already come. Especially when you are staying in some senior citizen home, they provide food regularly. So, so you don't feel like wasting your money. So whether you are hungry or not, you eat. You are traveling by some Shatabdi and this express, Rajdhani and all. They give, eh? Vande Bharat. Now Vande Bharat. I have not traveled, so I have to travel in Shatabdi and this one, Rajdhani. So they give food. So 3 o'clock you board the train. At 12:40 or 1 o'clock you already had lunch. After having lunch only you went to the station. But at 3:45 something they give, you eat. Why? Free man, we have already paid for it. This is typical our mentality. Food should be taken only when it is required. Like what? Medicine. Suppose you have got some medicine getting expired. Do you take medicine just because it's getting expired? I hope not. Or you have got some this particular or the ointment. When there is a bleeding or something, ointment is there. Also, ointment is going to get expired. Therefore, you put a cut and put ointment. Do you do that? You don't do that. Same approach should be there towards food. Food should be taken only when required. And food should be taken to the extent it is required. Therefore, aushadam. And Bhagavan says that food I am. That is why in our culture, we don't push the plate. Nowadays people get angry and they throw the plate. Throwing the plate is a great disrespect. People when they don't like food and they throw the plate. Food, even you should not push slowly you should put. You cannot push the plate. Food, Anna Devata, in fact we do Namaskara, even villagers. They may not be knowing the mantra, but this much they do. They do Namaskara to the plate and then do like this and then eat. Because this is our culture. Respect food. Because Aushadam, Bhagavan says, I am there in the form of Annam. And I am there in the form of mantras. I am there in the form of the oblations, ghee, etc., which is offered. I am there in the form of Agni, fire. And I am there in the form of very act of offering the oblations. Those details we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.